should ever enter where we are going. Beware what lurks in the depths of the libtard zone.
I'm a mother. I am a physician, and I have a flag. And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you, thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade!
The Portland Frog Brigade. That's what she just talked about. The Portland Frog Brigade. This was their counter messaging to the State of the Union. This is what they wanted to show everybody. This is what we are like. We're in trouble. I mean, libtard zone or not. This is what they planned to show America. This is our movement.
I'm fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me. I'm Aryan white, there ain't no place I'm going to." And then all of a sudden, he's not ready for primetime player ICE agents.
Stop. President Trump was 100% correct. These people are crazy. You want these people? I don't want them watching my dogs. I don't want them in my neighborhoods. This is who they are counting on. That is the America that they support. That is the America that they feel we should be embracing. Furries. Contrast, the word I'm going to continue to use now through the election. Hey, what do you want? Oh, we want Safer America. What do you want? Furries. We want mass immigration. We want higher taxes. How can we be in this situation? The only way we can be in this situation is that people in Congress aren't doing their jobs.
With 2 weeks of training, come after me. I got arrested in Portland. I got arrested in Minneapolis in the last 3 weeks twice. But they can't erase a movement, all right?
The only movement this guy looks like is one that, a bowel movement, because he's full of crap. But the scary part is that there's people in the audience cheering. They're looking at a guy in a furry outfit and they're cheering. And what's scarier is the Democrats thought that this was going to be inspirational to people that vote for them. Over here, you got a guy talking about all the things that America wants: safety, prosperity, lower taxes, end of corruption, ending mass migration. And the contrast is this.
What I went through is 1/1000th of a lot of marginalized people and what they have to go through in those ICE detention centers. And I want to tell you something right now. There's an announcement. Pumpkin Spice Satan is making his way to the State of the Union. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to rev up the show right now. We're giving out prizes. We're going to have bingo. We're going to
He said bingo. We're going to give out prizes and bingo. We got the hockey team who won a gold medal, and you're going to have bingo for furries as the counter messaging to the President of the United States. Who thought this was a good idea? Who thought hosting these events was going to make people go, yeah, I want some of that. I need to be a part of this.
Arm the White House with love and compassion.
guys know how crazy my days can get. Between prepping the show, looking at closing real estate deals, chasing the dogs around, and then, trying to carve out some real time with Robin, or just breathing easy on a Sunday morning. And then, bam, the phone rings. You stare at it, you're thinking, man, I really got to grab this, even though your hands are full or it's family time. One missed call, poof. That's a potential deal walking straight to one of my competitors. No voicemail, no text, and that sponsorship or interview opportunity may be gone. When did your business start calling the shots instead of you calling the shots? We've all been there, and so has President Trump. He built an entire empire by not letting distractions derail the win and also delegating. It's very important. That's exactly why today's video sponsor is Nextiva Expert AI. It's a total game changer. This AI receptionist is like having an unbeatable, never tiring teammate, almost like a robot on your team. It answers every single phone call, even if 3 calls come in at the same time. Same thing with text, chat, 24/7 chat. It'll do your entire communication for you. It books appointments instantly with your calendar. It juggles multiple conversations at once with 0 hold times and 0 voicemail black holes. And when it's something that needs your personal touch, it hands it off seamlessly with full context, summaries, and details, so you're not having to start over every single time. You guys know that I buy and sell houses. Every single call I miss means a lost opportunity, a lost deal. When someone wants to sell a house, they're usually going to call a whole list of people, and they're waiting for whoever answers the phone to give them an offer. I don't want to lose out on a deal simply because I couldn't answer the phone at that time. So what are your options to fix these kinds of problems? Well, you could hire a full-time receptionist. Good luck with that with today's labor pool. But in the event, that would still cost you thousands of dollars, plus training, scheduling, and HR management. Expert is just $99 a month. Expert also handles texts, sends follow-ups, confirms appointments. Everything is done automatically, and no, it doesn't sound robotic. You choose the voice and customize what it says. You save hours every week, you're cutting costs big time, and finally, you can run your business instead of it running you, all while keeping that American hustle strong. Reclaim your time and protect your revenue. That's most important. Protect your revenue. Make your business great again with Expert. Head over to tryexpert.ai/Barry Cunningham right now. You'll get a free professional setup, a free business phone line, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Let's get you winning big in 2026. Go to tryexpert.ai/Barry Cunningham. I don't think you'll be sorry.
Yeah, the cult-like behavior of my...
I had to put those 2 clips back to back. He just said, we are cult-like. We just watched a man in a furry cheetah outfit, or I think it was, talking about Mr. Tambourine Man, Orange Tambourine Man, and giving out bingo cards and really going after us because we don't want illegals here, but we're the cult. Yeah, okay.
colleagues on the other side of the aisle is a complete and total abdication of their responsibility to conduct themselves like a separate and co-equal branch of government. But what we've seen repeatedly from these folks is that they regularly bend the knee to Donald Trump and behave like they are nothing more than reckless rubber stamps for Donald Trump's extreme agenda.
Extreme agenda. Just want you to understand, extreme agenda. Making sure that Americans are safe is an extreme agenda. Extreme. Making sure that, we don't pay taxes that are not going to be corrupted and stolen. That's an extreme agenda. The fact that he's trying to, lessen taxes, fix the budget, so you guys don't need money here, and that's an extreme agenda. that pretty much every household in the country goes through. They look to, where can I save money? I'm getting ready to go on vacation. I can allocate this much money. We all have to do that on a daily basis. That's an extreme agenda. What he's talking about and what the Democrats are talking about is a single agenda. Notice, this must be kind of weird for a lot of Democrat women. When's the last time you've turned on television or looked on X? I mean, you'll hear it in October, but when's the last time you've heard the word baby removal word? When's the last time you've heard any of them talk about it? None. Their number one agenda, bar none, nothing else matters. Not your safety, not your finances, nothing else matters than getting as many illegals in the country as possible. So now the battle lines are very clear. The contrast is there for everybody to see. There is nothing else. I don't want to hear about the Epstein stuff. The contrast right now is they want everybody in the country and they don't give a shit about your safety or your finances. Period.
Tonight was not America's State of the Union. It was Donald Trump's state of delusion. For 2 long hours, the president stood in the House chamber congratulating himself, inflating his own ego, but offering no solutions to our country's many problems.
You see, after talking to some of these people, I kind of believe that's what Chucky and Hakeem actually think. Because they don't think that saving your money, corruption, taxes, or your safety is an actual problem. The problem is you make too much money. The problem is there are people who don't have any, so they need to take it from you. The problem is we need to get as many people in this country as possible. When they say he doesn't address the problems, those are the problems they're talking about. Just remember that contrast. They're not talking about you. We can't do this. We need to have more of these people here. We need to take more of your money to pay for them.
He's in a bubble. He doesn't even have a clue about what the average American family is going through. Donald Trump patted himself on the back so many times, I thought he'd fall down.
What would an immigration deal look like between Republicans and Democrats in the Senate?
Well, we had a good model in 2013, as you may remember, bipartisan. John McCain and I headed the Gang of 8. We had 4 Democrats.
I think using John McCain as your staple, right there we all know, oh no, you mentioned no name. You mentioned this guy who shall not be named anymore, and that's the guy you're saying is bipartisan. Okay, so Chuck, even with no name, what exactly is it now, today in 2026, you think is the most pressing issue that needs to happen for America?
Democrats, 4 Republicans, including Marco Rubio, who's now gone to the other side on this. But we could come up with a bill like that. It toughens up the border. It gives a path to citizenship, a long, tough path to citizenship for 11 million people who are here.
That's the issue. He just said it. I was in that rotunda. We were walking around up in there. That's what he said. Our number one thing that we need to do is make 11 million people citizens. I'm sorry. It's not about making people safe. Nope. It's not about helping people pay less in taxes. Nope. It's not about lower gas prices or food prices. Nope. So what exactly is the thing you're looking for? Yeah, we need to have 11 million illegals made to be citizens, not admitted to made citizens. Hold on, let me just let you hear that again. because that is the most pressing problem as far as they're concerned.
But we could come up with a bill like that. It toughens up the border. It gives a path to citizenship, a long, tough path to citizenship for 11 million people who are here.
That's not a tight border. That means you did what you needed to do simply to get them in and make them citizens. Now you know. You may have known before this, but now you know for sure. If all the things that's wrong in America, what's the number one thing we need to do? We need to make 11, and what he said was 11 million or whatever number it is. He doesn't even know because he doesn't even care. Point of order, Mr. Schumer. And you want all those 11 million people to be able to vote, right? With no ID, right? Yeah. That's what they want. And then you're done. You're absolutely, completely done. All right, let me tell you about Rumble, one of today's sponsors. You may have seen the conversations happening online lately. Censorship is back, and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are controlling narratives called algorithms and pushing the stuff they want you to see. We need to fight back. Rumble is the only company that has stood the test of time and deserves our support. On one side, Rumble is challenging big tech, censorship, and now they've also introduced another site, something that will give us protection from big banks shutting us off. Banks can cancel our accounts and they can freeze our cards. So that's why they've launched Rumble Wallet, a wallet that no one can cancel and a wallet that supporters can use to instantly tip their creators without any middlemen taking cuts. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money. Not a bank, not a government, not a tech company, not even Rumble can touch the money. It's yours. It's only yours. It's yours to protect your future and your family. It's not only just a wallet to buy and save, but it allows you to support your family, favorite creators by easily tipping them with the click of a button. There will be no fees when you tip my channel or others, and we actually receive the tip instantly, unlike other platforms where we have to wait for payouts. Support my show and other creators by clicking the tip button on my Rumble channel if you're watching on Rumble. It's wallet.rumble.com. Download Rumble Wallet today, open an account, and step away from the big banks for good. Wallet.rumble.com, or search Rumble Wallet in your Play Store or App Store.
What did you think about that moment when the president was asking Democrats to stand up for American citizens during that part of the speech when he was talking about immigration and immigration enforcement efforts?
All right, I want you in the chat right now before she speaks. I want you to look at her again. Boom. Excuse me. I want you. He just asked her, what did you think when they asked you guys to stand up for people that want to be safe? What did you think about it? What do you think her answer is going to be? Well, if you guessed racism, I don't know how she got that, but that's where she goes.
I agree with the what, like standing up for American citizens, but I disagree with the how. And so it's always about how do we bring our country together, but not stand on the backs of others. There's thinly veiled racist language, anti-immigrant language in what he was asking, and that.
There you go. A black woman said it was racist and anti-immigrant because they're not immigrants, they're illegals, anti-illegals, because he said Americans should come first. We don't like it. It's anti-immigrant, and we can't have any of that because it's exclusion. You're not being diverse. You're only making it about America. Isn't that where you're an elected congressperson? You're elected for America. You're elected from Oregon to be an American congressperson. Why the hell are you worried about what the immigrants think? They're not your constituency. But now you're seeing that contrast become quite clear. One man's talking about saving America, and they're talking about tearing it down because we have to have all these you-know-whos.
That was uncomfortable.
So what I will say to Representative Al Green, if you can hear me, I'm so in.
Okay. I had to hear this. I had to enter the libtard zone, so you have to as well. I'm sorry this may be a little bit uncomfortable the next 30 to 90 seconds. But in order to even underscore what President Trump said when he said, these people are crazy. You've seen the man in the leopard suit, and you've heard about the Colt, and you heard about, hey, 11, 20 million, doesn't matter, we let them all come in. And it's racist to, just think we should uphold American. Now they've divulged into a whole different aspect. They're singing about a man who brought a sign to the State of the Union that said, black people rent apes. I'm sorry, no? Oh, black people aren't apes. Surely look like black people rent apes. You guys have seen the picture. But that was a big deal to them. He's my hero. I'm going to break out in song for the man who brought a black people aren't apes sign to the State of the Union. That's important to you, huh? Okay. Enjoy.
And come on. Here it go. Keep it going. Whatever you. Woo. It's all right with me. They cannot imprison us all.
Everybody get some. They cannot. Oh, this is good stuff.
Imprison us all. They cannot imprison us all. They no pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas.
I have one question. I would love to know from the people who plan this event. You spent some time putting together the entertainment, and I would just like to know why these people were not invited. That woman has been immortalized, and she wasn't invited to the anti-State of the Union rally. I can't tell you why.
Long stretches of the speech that were essentially sort of violence porn. He talked.
How stupid do you have to be to listen to these people? Violent porn. Violence porn. That's what Rachel Maddow was saying to her audience after the State of the Union was over. There was violence porn. Can anybody define violence porn? Oh, she's going to.
Talked about people being covered in blood, gushing blood, blood pouring out of things. He talked about people being on the edge of death. He went into graphic detail.
Hey, Rachel, you have any context what he was talking about? I don't know, maybe illegal killing people? Little white girl's neck being slashed on a train with blood everywhere, but you're just focusing on the blood was the issue. Oh, he talked about blood and people bleeding. How are they bleeding? What caused them to bleed, Rachel? You have to be, oh, wait, never mind. As President Trump says, I'm going to have to clip that. These people are crazy. Absolutely crazy.
On a number of different people's injuries of various kind. And in those moments, he slowed down, ad-libbed a lot, and tried to give seemingly as much sort of gory detail as he could, talking about very bloody scenes.
MSNBC or whatever they are, it's literally romper room. Oh, it's very gory. It's really bad. You know what? You know who thought it was really gory? Her mom. Her mom, who had to watch the video over and over of her daughter being slashed. Or, another woman who had to watch what they did to her kid. I'm pretty sure they found it to be kind of gory. And the only reason you may be finding it gory right now, Democrats, libtards, is because your people never reported on it. And so with 30 million people watching the State of the Union on television, I guess they haven't even counted online, it became news to some people. It's a little bit too much for us. Oh, no.
No matter what number of people battled through that nearly 2-hour speech, it's still going to be his largest audience of the year. And if you're sitting in a White House before a speech for any president, you're thinking about a couple things. How does the president use that speech to give a message to not just the people in the chamber, but his political allies out there about what they should be talking about, what the agenda is, what the winning message is? And Trump decided to double down on things that are hugely unpopular. I mean, to your point, it was like a 3-part speech. There was the gross, violent pornography part of it.
I broadcast the entire speech. Not once did the words pornography jump into my, oh man, that sounds really violently pornographic. It makes no sense, because what they're defending here, when you get into the core, what they're defending is illegals. It's pornographic, it's violent. He talked about some other stuff we don't really give a shit about. No, we don't care. But he said some stuff about illegals. Oh, that's gross.
Was the circus entertainer part where he was bringing out unrelated people in vignettes. And then there was a part that was policy-ish.
Everybody in that room yesterday, all the members of Congress, took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the president's speech was just very performative. And one of the most performative things that he tried to do was to kind of like put a thing on Democrats when he said, like, are you going to, everybody, if you think you should be supporting American citizens over illegal immigrants, stand up. That's wrong, right? And everybody on that side who stood up knows it's wrong.
It's wrong to point out that people who want to stand for Americans, it's wrong. You should not want to have America first. You should not want citizens to be safe. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But not as unbelievable as this clip.
I was there, and it was as horrific as I thought it would be.
Did you leave early?
Absolutely.
It was like an award show. You get a medal. You get a medal. You get a medal.
That's literally, Mo just said, you get a car, you get a car. Y'all are on the same page.
I believe the medals went out to a couple people who were shot. The National Guard guy that got shot in Washington, D.C., the parents of the National Guard woman who got shot and killed in Washington, D.C. I believe it went out to a couple of veterans, one of which was 100 years old. Erica Kirk, whose husband was assassinated, and they're laughing about it. It is a joke to them. How do you coexist with people who consider murder and a celebration of people who survived as being just a joke? It's just a joke. Then at the same time, the American hockey team gets medals, and they're showing themselves to be American supporters, not just Trump supporters, American supporters, and they're freaking out. These people can't be expected to ever coexist with with normal people ever again. Ever again. It's that bad. It's that bad.